Morning. Morning. Good morning, ladies. Whoa! Feedback. Morning, ladies and gents. Beautiful people. Hope you're all good. Morning, Jeff, Noah, Chris, Mindful Matters. Going to let a few others come into stream first. Morning, Abe. And then we'll go over what we're looking at. Morning, Asa. Early morning, crew. Hey, Steve, good morning. David, morning, everybody. No trades for me overnight. Nothing this morning. As we start to go into some form of consolidation after that monster move yesterday. So let's get into it now, shall we? We start off as the daily, as always. We go from highest time frame down. So daily, found bids, now 5 days catching up with the 20-day. Everything we talked about here, you need to be cautious to see this relationship here for swing traders. It becomes key. Can we backtest higher into old previous highs, these red lines, all right, old previous highs, bodies and wicks? We can also think about the size of this move from the all-time high down to here. We tapped into exactly 50%, all right, exactly 50%. Those of you who are doing the course, think about the weekly model. All right, this will become key today based on this Monday, Tuesday, and what we're doing. Right now, we're diving down into previous day's close right now. So closing that gap. Going into the higher time frame charts, let's go to the hourly. I have to be aware of this gray box. This gray box is your cash gap. Okay, the gap down from Thursday to Friday last week, this is all non-cash, sorry. So this is Asia London traders, very thin in here, which is why I have it marked out. So far we've traded up to this block here that we had marked in yesterday, and we started to find some supply. We're starting to fall overnight, so all the buyers overnight, right, buying inventory currently is stuck up here. All right, so their average price is about 790, but they're stuck up here all the way up to 850 as we start to dive down. What am I looking for today? If I'm looking for momentum and dips, right, I need this area here to hold. All right, old point of control, old shelf. This is where we broke out from above. So we're looking for that area to hold. We came and tried to backtest it yesterday afternoon on the only dip it gave before the close. All right, so we're looking for bullish patterns in here to hold for a return back up to here and maybe beyond. It is possible that we just consolidate today in here, especially with Nvidia earnings coming on later. You've got a couple Fed talkers coming at 11 and 12 o'clock. But that's the main play I'm looking at, all right? Play number one would be a hold somewhere between, I guess, 710 and sort of 660, 650. Old value area high, 665. 710, 665. I'm looking for it to hold in here. If we start to make a series of lower highs and lower lows, maybe a trap, and we get stuck here, you have to be very aware about a rotation to the next point down. We're thin structure in here. We did this move as a squeeze, so really there's no shelf until we get to sort of 585. And then maybe if we start failing that, we do have these bottoms down here. All right, I'm going to pull this across. All right, all the way down into 500, and then of course that wick yesterday. So I'm not saying we give all that back today. You would need Nvidia to go completely risk off and probably some fear of news to do that. So initially I'm going to be looking for a long setup into this area here. All right, really simple. When we look at the 5-minute chart up above, we can see London, okay, came and took out Asia high. London swept Asia high and then failed, and then took out Asia low. Then in this drive up, we came back up to where we created supply in London and Asia, and we've just failed. You know, you can see I put in an expanding range here because it's very possible when London does a move where it sweeps both sides, New York might want to expand this range. All right, so if we're going to go into a consolidating market, if we need to build liquidity, that is the type of move you will often see. Hopefully that has you all clear on what I'm looking for. All right, that's what I'm looking for. I will be adaptable today. Like I've just said to the team in Discord, I am not expecting fireworks today. Right, after a huge move like yesterday, I expect some form of consolidation. The question is going to be, where do buyers want to get involved? Remember what we ask ourselves each and every single day. What is the momentum and what is the location? Momentum has been to the upside, but location, as we just talked about, location of buying up here is no good. Remember, yesterday we were participating as buyers down here and here for the drive up and retest in this 800 block, right? We've talked about that all week. Now we've done that. All right, now we've already done that. The easy move has done to 800. So we have to wait and think about, where will buyers come in? Will they come in here? Will they come in here? Will they not come in at all? And we'll come all the way down. All those things are possible. So we're going to wait for key levels, and then we're going to wait for signals. By signals, I mean we're going to wait for patterns. Right, back testing, just like we back tested supply, now we need to back test areas of demand. This volume area, this node here, this old shelf on the H1, these key levels. I want to see if we can hold that. You can also do a fib from this low. You're going to play bull from this low to the high. And this would be a bull flag setup on an H1 if it could hold price here. Maybe do this kind of move and an expansion out. You don't need to be guessing the bottoms on these, all right? Just because I'm looking for a return back in, I'm not guessing the bottoms. I'm going to let it do whatever it needs to do, just like yesterday. If I need to wait an hour, 2 hours, I will. If there's no trade set up today, that's also okay. All right, we had a big move yesterday. Those in Discord would have seen I caught the short as well for that move once we started failing. Where was it? Once we started failing. Up here yesterday, I took this short from 770 to 710. The reason I covered at 710 is it is an old high, so I expected this to hold. Really simple. All right, really simple, very simple SNR, Malaysian style SNR. Don't need to overcomplicate it. So hopefully most of you caught that. So hopefully most of you understand what we're looking at today. Here's the relationship back to 5-day. We just talked about that. Back to 5-day, 20-day looming. So in here, we can build lots of liquidity, right? Lots of swing traders will try and build liquidity in here. Remember, if you're going to trade the afternoon session today, you have NVIDIA earnings at the bell. NVIDIA very close to breaking out of all-time highs today. So I don't know if they're going to sell that. It'll be the third or fourth attempt up into that level on NVIDIA, into that 150 level, or if they let it through and they sell the news, or if we're going to go straight pump all day, and maybe the earnings are very good with that black chip that they're all looking at, with CEO saying demand is absolutely massive, which is why we've been rallying the last few days. So we will just have to see. Let's see how the Mag 7 open, but just be aware of the cash gaps like we talked about, and be aware of your location and momentum. Morning, Aid, Tyson, Glenn, Ramos. Good morning, everyone. So far this morning, I would say since this 8:30 move, around 8:30, we are obviously in bearish flow. Just sweeping yesterday's previous day close, coming into this higher time frame algo and the 5-day where we've found some bids for now. All right, so not surprising that we're starting to find a few bids there. Key levels here. Where is the 4 o'clock candle? And this was also the 4 o'clock candle. Let me put that out because that's the cash candle. There we go. This one right here. All right, that's cash candle. Do that white, and then we'll mark the New York open when we get it as well. There we go. So a nice drive up after sweeping liquidity for now, but we're in bearish structure. I'm going to leave this in a 2-minute, just for the first few minutes of the open. And you've got about just under 2 minutes until the opening bell. Don't be in a rush to do anything, okay? Take your time. I'm still bullish, right? Looking at the hourly and stuff, I'm still bullish, but I'm very aware of every single part of liquidity from the close yesterday to the open today can act as supply. If they are stuck up high, if their average price is too high, if they were bidding up overnight, which it looks like they were, and they get flushed on, they can act as supply. All right, so I'm going to be very, very aware about that. But do me a favor, hit that like button now. Let's get those likes moving early so I don't have to ask 100 times on stream. Morning, Exister. Good morning, Ramos. Morning, Minix. Morning, Miguel. Good morning, everyone. Let's have a good day. All right, we're 100% on the stream this week so far, so it'd be nice if we could continue that, wouldn't it? It'd be very nice. First move I'm going to be looking for is some form of dip down into the yesterday's afternoon low volume point of control from yesterday and the H1 blocks where we broke out of. So anywhere around that 700 down to 650. If we start getting heavy under that, I'm not going to consider longs. I'm going to think that we're probably going to range rotate or maybe even be a little risk off into Nvidia. So 3 seconds till the open. Here we go. Let's see what we get. I'm not interested in trading this opening. Just want to see how we settle and then I can think about it. So gap, no gap overnight. All right, we're opening where we closed yesterday. So no gap to consider on the overnight session. Only the gap from Thursday to Friday last week left above us currently. And the gaps have been closed. So some buys down into that 710 area showing up on the bid. Let's see if we can move down there to that afternoon pullback level, which was 710. Mag 7 mixed bag at the open, right? Tesla red, Nvidia are currently red, Google red, Amazon down 1%, Microsoft down 0.5%, Apple up 0.5%, Meta up 0.25%. So give it a few minutes to settle. Obviously, if you're playing the opening range, you can think about these 1 minute candles, 5 minute candles, 15-minute candles. Think about volume, think about momentum. If you want to learn how to play the opening range, I have a very good video on the orb strategy for free on YouTube. So your current range would be 726 downside, 755 upside. You'd be looking for a breakout of one of those, but current momentum is downside, but we have come into an area of interest. I would like to see us move lower still. All right, I really would like to see us move lower. Remember, to move higher, we need shorts trapped in the market. So I want to see us move lower into areas of demand. So back to yesterday's close, retesting that right now. The 4 o'clock level. So the 4 o'clock, the cash level is right here at 751. So what I'm actually going to do is just mark this out. Might as well mark this one out. Where's the open? Here. Mark this out as blue. It's pretty much the same level. There we go. Morning, Thumper. So we're in this strong downtrend currently from overnight or from 8:30. We're thinking about how we're going to act in and around these pools. And that's all I'm thinking about right now. Can we get there? When we get there, how do we act? Not going to jump in front of it trying to catch a knife, just in case for some reason they want to go risk off today. If Putin starts talking about nuclear war again, if they decide that they're not going to bid Nvidia up and actually they want to take profits early, all these things can affect the market. They're expecting a huge move on Nvidia, right? More than FOMC is what they're saying currently. So much hinges on it. The heaviest weighted stock in the indexes, both on the SPY and the QQQ. Biggest company in the world. And it's a volatile company as well. can move very, very aggressively. So here's the move into the low teens. Can we get down in towards that 700? Still got a buyer on the tape at around 700 right now. Let's see if we can move lower. So under 700, the next big, ugh, tell it's early still. The next big bid is down at 650. All right, 140 odd contracts down there. So these were the levels that we talked about beforehand, didn't we? 710 down to 650. These are the kind of levels that we're looking at. Afternoon pullback level yesterday, all the way down into point of control. Under 650, I think even going that low is a little bit dangerous. There is a wick there on the hourly. I've got that on half now. Let's change that. Yeah, there's a move there yesterday into about midday. Really, I'd want to see point of control hold in and around 80s. It's a rough area, all right? It's a rough area. So far, risk off this morning, selling down. Definite inventory, all right? Just look, zoom out, look at the overnight session. Asia and London are definitely stuck, right? Those buyers are definitely stuck up there right now. Anyone bidding up there ignored supply and got smoked. We talked about that move back to 800. Once it completes the move, I'm less interested, right? We talk about that all the time. That's how I frame it in my head. Once the low-hanging fruit, easy move goes, then become less interested. So now I need to see it come back and hold a level for me to have a return back to supply, knowing that I'm not expecting us to break out of that level today. I'm expecting us maybe to go and retest sort of 800-ish, and I'd be taking profits into that because I expect those buyers to become sellers. You got to think right now they're 100, 150 points underwater right now. They are not happy bunnies. Some of you might be asking, why am I not short down into these areas? It's a good question. Maybe I could have taken a short because I was confident of getting somewhere into here. But really early on in the day, I get fixated. I want to follow my game plan. I'm thinking about the longs when we get down into here and if we can put in bullish structure. That's what I'm thinking about. So that's what I'm going to stick to for now until it proves otherwise. If we keep flushing and going further and further down, obviously that trade no longer becomes valid. And then I need to think about maybe short continuation into midpoint of range. Maybe if they're going to get really heavy, do they go and attack yesterday's low of day? Bounce from 690. Yeah, that's the same levels I'm talking about, Tyson. Exactly what I'm talking about. Have a look in Discord. Go to the early part of this video. It's exactly what I'm looking at. Somewhere around here where we're coming into now. After sweeping the afternoon low, we're coming into point of control. We're coming into H1 levels. This is where I'm interested. But I need to see a pattern, right? I'm not just going to buy it because it's into here. Because if the buyers don't show up, or if those buyers from the highs are in too much pain and they force a sell down here, then we might just knife straight through. I had a good conversation about this exact thing yesterday with Glenn in the group. We were talking about how NQ can overextend its levels quite easily. That's because if one side gets trapped and they're forced to mark it out, it can come, you know, it can expand 100 points further than it should. Very, very frequently. ES tends to hold its levels much, much better. We also hit 50%. Yeah, that drive up into 800, 850, that was 50%. If you go from the all-time high to the pivot low from earlier this week, the drive up was 50%. Sorry, Glenn, I still haven't fixed that night bot. I totally forgot to do that yesterday. I'll add it to my list to do today. I think it's just caps it doesn't like for some reason. It must be an automatic session. Automatic thing it puts on. It's nothing that I've put on. So that buyer's still down there at 650, all right? 144 on the book right there, looking to get filled down into 650. Remember, we're into the areas of interest on the higher time frame. This is where we're looking at, somewhere around here, right? Is this a H1 pullback? And what we're asking is, does the lower time frame do something like this, right? And then we can start participating for a drive back into here. We're looking for the higher time frame pullback to finish, and we're going to know it's finished when the lower time frame starts putting in bullish structure, bullish patterns. If it doesn't put in bullish patterns, then the higher time frame has not finished its pullback. So definite risk off here. Everything on the Mag 7 other than Apple currently is red. So Apple is green by 0.4%, almost 0.5%. Everything else red on the session. So those buyers in Asia, London got cooked. They definitely got cooked. So far, basically leaving the initial balance high at the high of day. Maybe we get that 10 a.m. reversal. Only 9 minutes into the session so far. Plenty of time, or 10 minutes. Plenty of time left. Yeah, we're in that break and retest area right now. That's right. So if we start failing here under 650, then possible rotation back down to 620 and 580s. This is why I don't go guessing bottoms. We wait for it to put in patterns. This bear flag paid out pretty nice at the open. I just don't like taking moves right at the open. Too much volatility for me. Get whipped 20, 30, 40 points very, very easily. So we have a wick here into 640. This 650 buyer is on the tape right now. ES maybe wants to come all the way back down to 908 to 900. Also have the 20-day down there on the ES. So that buyer now filled. Are they going to drip it lower, and how much lower? Only big buyer left I can see on the tape right now. It's way down at 525. All right, so starting to see some very light reaction here as they start to fill these buyers. Oh, drawing on my chart. All right, so we're looking at these areas here. This is where we broke out from yesterday, 25. So I really don't want to see it come that low. I think we start getting in danger then of just rotating the whole move, giving the whole move back. Very, very cautious of this now as we start to break under here. If they're going to really, really let it go. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of volume being traded here. It's also still early on in the session. Look at the daily. All right, look at where we are on that daily. We're coming back to the open, the close of Monday and the open of Tuesday now. All right, which we're tagging into right now. This white line. Look at your daily chart. We're coming into key levels. So basic S&R here as well. So I expect lots of volume to be traded in and around these areas. We are extended from these flow zones. So what's going to be hard is if it does this, these won't turn until we're like around here. So you have to be cautious with sizing. Remember, momentum is to the downside right now, but location is better technically for a buy. So starting to see some volume, buying volume coming in off that previous day open here. Yeah, almost at yesterday's IB high. We're well through that point of control. We're actually testing Monday's POC right now. Let's see if they show up here. Have to be very, very cautious looking at this. They can easily kill this off, all right, as we trade back under these. If we trade back under this new low, this pivot low we put in. But this is a nice reaction. Maybe we trade up towards the flow zones and see what we do. See if we can put in a higher low and go from there. Might still need a manipulation lower. It might still sell off. No indication of that long yet. So that long that I was looking for so far, not playing out, not showing me anything yet. No big volume push to the upside. Volume came in and they've sold it straight back down. So I can be wrong on this. You know, it might be that buyers don't show up today. Maybe we just sell all day, give back the whole of yesterday's move, which was very, very squeezy. Maybe we need to come back test that next area I have on my chart where we broke out from yesterday. Maybe it's into here, 620. I didn't really want to see it pull back here, but we've had this marked out just in case. Maybe we just chop all day in a range once we settle down here. That was the other thing I talked about on Discord. Check the Discord. I said we can fade and then just go sideways all day if they want, especially when you consider what's probably going to happen today with options for Nvidia. They might just want to burn everyone. That sell off open, the momentum was downside like we talked about. So question here, do they build continuation, or is this going to be the start of a move like this to come back and retest here? Not much volume in this candle yet. I'm going to move this down to 1 minute for you. Is it already on one? There we go. So we have reacted right off Monday's point of control. Tuesday's point of control is into 85. There's a first test of flow zones there. The momentum is still downside right now. Yes, pretty nice reaction. Did it sweep that level? It did. Very good. Now buyer at 600 on the book. I think he moved up. So 600, 550, 525. Those are 100 lots or more on the book currently. So do they bear flag this, or do they form some form of manipulation? Manipulation would be good for the long, because if we sweep this and turn back inside, then we know shorts get trapped here. If they bear flag it, then it won't be a wick. It will just be a continuation lower. Still very early. It's only been 18 minutes. All right. Long trading session ahead. Some of you caught this short down to here. Well done. I wasn't looking for this short. I was looking for a rotation into here and then thinking about getting long if we can hold. But like I said, if it doesn't put in a pattern, there will be no trade here for me, and I'll have to reassess and think about a possible short continuation trade. Apple almost red on the day now as well. So market giving back all its gains, trading back into Monday's range. I'm watching the ETFs here as well to just check where cash started injecting yesterday. QQQ trading at its 20-day on the QQQ. SPY got a little way to go. It's got to trade down to 58560s. Momentum still short. Location not quite so good short. Not right now. Not sitting on Monday's POC. If we start to break here, we start to get under yesterday's close. As long as they don't trap here and we get continuation, we can join this for a move down into, this is where it gets tricky. For a move down into 620, you'd really want to see that fail and fail very quick for a move down into 500. This is where it gets tricky when we trade back inside range where there's structure. It gets very, very tricky. Lovely. No, that's nice, Aid. I mean, it's a good short. It made sense to come down here. I was just so fixated on just sticking to what I'm going to look for. But it made sense that it would trade down to around these levels like we talked about. So good for you for taking that trade down into this level. And that's good money. That's really good money. $10 until a new H1 and H4 candle. So let's see what we do. This H1 candle is very, very large. It's repriced everything now all the way to 11 a.m. yesterday. Right, so if it reprices much lower, you've got to think it's going to reprice 24 hours of trading in one candle. There's still those 100 lots still on the book. 600, 550, 525. That's on a 1 minute right now. The chart is on a 1 minute. Like I said, I am also watching 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour and daily charts all the time. I execute on here, but I'm looking at levels of higher time frames. Always looking at levels of higher time frames. Definite battlegrounds here. They're trying to accumulate, but there's been no manipulation lower yet. But they are trying to accumulate in here around that level. Are we going to get some injection upside here? Starting to take this a little bit more seriously now. Looking a little bit better here. This should be a 1 minute. Is it not a 1 minute? Maybe that went to a 2 minute accidentally. There we go. Sorry. That's probably why you were asking. Yeah, it's left these lows here. The easier trade here would be if it does this, right? Because then we know shorts get trapped underneath, we turn back inside, and we have internal liquidity that we can use. If short stops are here and they add here and we turn back inside and hold, we know their stops are here, we run those stops, we use it as the injection to get up to here. But it doesn't have to do it. All right, momentum is definitely bearish on this session right now. All of the Mag 7 currently red. All of them. Tesla 1.4% down, Nvidia 1.2%, Meta 0.2, Google 1.1, Amazon 1.5, Microsoft 0.8, and Apple 0. It's basically flat. It's red, but it's flat. All right. We know we left liquidity up here, right? The New York Open. We know if we can do this, we can trade back into this level, and then how we react here will depend if we're going to get a continuation or this will just be the range for this session. Like I said to the team before the open this morning, I'm not expecting fireworks today after that big move yesterday. We are right now, we're just trading back right at the, well, at the top side of the range we created for the week. So I wanted to see the top side of this range hold for bulls to then reprice back into the Asia London high. That's what I'm looking for this morning. If it doesn't hold, we're going to dig deeper into the range that we created in the week. If you're looking at that daily candle, so far it very much looks like that typical weekly model on a Wednesday. So I want to be cautious about how I'm thinking about this. Because if they're going to base here, if Nvidia doesn't print well, and if they're going to sell that Thursday, then we're going to have that weekly model play out. We're going to drive lower. So 5 minutes, new 5-minute bar here. Let's see how they close this into this new hourly candle. So next levels I'm looking at 620 and 580, but so far shorts are paying. ES did sweep there, NQ did not. So possible SMT there I'm watching, very possible. It's still early, no reaction yet to the upside. So if you're in this short for the bear flag, all right, you're looking for a break of structure down, you want to move your stop aggressively with it. Don't give this too much room in case it traps here, where you are in an area of demand where buyers showed up the last few days. So if you're taking this bear flag, you must be aggressive with partials and stops and then hold your runner for the bigger move. VIX trading right up to 1730 now. All right, its shelf remains the same level, 18. 18 is the breakout point for the VIX. Let's mark that in. Break of 18, we have a gap fill all the way to 20s. I literally no volume in there at all, so we can gap fill to 20s. If we do that break and go, the market is going to absolutely puke. That move to 20s would take us back to weekly lows. So worth being aware of that, VIX increasing. This can just be hedging, like I talked about in Discord. We might start to see some hedging into Nvidia, right? So some profit taking, some buying calls on the VIX. So here's our sweep. Now taking out the previous day open. Are we going to get continuation lower? You can tell it's a tight area. We're in a 20-point range here now, where the market is needing to make a decision of, do buyers step in here? Is that enough of a pullback, or are we actually going to go into a full sell today? It's a bear flag playing out, but please take some profits, pay yourself on that break of structure you just had, move your stop into a good level, don't be giving back. You can see how it's acting. It might be that they flush it really hard, in which case your runners are going to pay for you. Right, flow zones holding so far, but just know that this is a very sensitive area here if they do that. You don't want to be adding if you're short side. You want to be locking in some of your gains and holding your runners. I'm still just watching the book, seeing how we react here. A couple more minutes or 90 seconds till we get a new hourly and H4 candle, and that's going to be key for me. That's when I like trading normally. H4, we're coming back down to the wick of that H4 candle we put in yesterday at 6 a.m. And the body of that would trade down to 586. Wouldn't want to see it get anywhere near there. But we've repriced that imbalance on the H4 candle yesterday now. That whole H4 got repriced. Like this less and less for the longs right now, going to be honest. That relationship to previous day open key here. If it hangs around here, there's potential that we get a bear flag on the daily for a sell lower with that weekly model playing out on the Wednesday. So just think, if you were a buyer in London or Asia right now, you'd be very, very upset. You'd be feeling a lot of pain. Right? Beautiful bear flag here breaking down. So hopefully some of you got that. No reversal yet, right? There's no reason to go long. We haven't done this move yet. So new H1, new H4 candle right here. So they've repriced. Let's see how we act right here. So far protecting the close. So 14s, the close on that H4 and H1. So are they going to reprice this higher now? We know that we've built liquidity here. All right, so if we start trading inside of this, then the late shorts, like we talked about, be careful on the bear flag, because if we start repricing this, we can go up. Remember, this is a new H1, H4 start. This is the H1, H4 close. We're trading H1, H4 now. So it can reprice all the way back up very, very easily, right? Because that last H1 candle opened at basically 800 and closed basically at 600. You've got 200 points that it can go back upside. So understanding the relationship with the higher time frames here is key. If they finish trading down, if the pullback has finished, if that was simply an H4 reprice, it might want to move higher. Some decent volume exchanged here at the lows as well. No shift yet, but some decent volume has been exchanged. So flow zone still in bearish structure. We are bearish here. Multi-time frame, still bearish. No reason to long yet. What I'm going to struggle with now is my location. All right, if we're going to get short continuation and we're going to really sell hard today, I'm going to really struggle with my location. Because location was the open. Best location was the open. So do they expand H1 here? Or is this a sweep to turn back inside? I really don't know. Don't know yet. All I know is that we haven't put in bullish structure in any of the areas of interest for me. So that's not a good sign. It probably means my trade will not turn up for a little while. Short so far paying. We are in trend day down so far. Half an hour left to initial balance. The H1, H4 repriced. How much lower does it want to go? Does it want to give back all of the gains? Amazon pretty heavy today. Nvidia 1.6% down, not too bad. Still holding up okay. Still could make a run to all-time highs. A lot of this is going to depend if and where they want to buy it. Do they want to rebuy it, or have they made their money and they're happy they're just going to sit and wait for earnings? How much hedging is going to happen? VIX now 1760, not far away from that 18 break. Yeah, very thin liquidity, but you've got 150 order on the book here at 160, and then you've got 120 odd down at 550. It was thin here yesterday, it's like we talked about, and it doesn't really pick up until 570. This was the squeeze point yesterday. But sort of coming into pre-market highs from yesterday now on the ETFs. Continuation structures are paying today. Feels like we're going to reprice that whole move. Feels like very much like they're going to give back the whole thing. Which was my fear when we started breaking down through these levels, that we would just reprice the whole thing. If this is a daily bear flag, right? If we had 2 days move up for that bear flag and we get that 5-day, 20-day cross, it's really not a good look for the market when we get that. Really is not. So there's the 20-day on the ES, a little bit left to go on the SPY. Yeah, big sell orders coming through. That's all the buyers getting smoked. So like we said, into 570, that was the first point of volume yesterday that we could see. 570 down to 538. That was the next shelf of volume that came in yesterday. You can see it using session volume, right here. This level here. This is where volume picks up. Thin in here, you can see big volume here, thin in here, big in here. Nothing for me to do here. I've trade thesis didn't plan out. All right, didn't hold up at the levels I was looking at. Never get bullish structure. There's absolutely nothing I can do right now. That's okay. That happens sometimes. Kind of crazy to think how big that move was yesterday, and that how much of it was probably a squeeze in that case, that they are not finding any bids anywhere today. What was level yesterday? What was 9:30 open yesterday? That would be key. Yeah, 500s basically. I don't think it's all just Russian news. White and green. What is the indicator used below screen in white and green? It's volume. That's volume. Yeah, I think I don't think news fully moves the market like this. Honestly, this is tech's gone risk off. You know, we had Russian news yesterday. There was an overreaction, and then we pumped it back up when he said he wouldn't go nuclear. Like, I'm not convinced how much of this is war news. I think a lot of this is just repositioning. We're in a range. We've been in a range for a few days, or really for a week now. We traded 50% of the range back upside, tagged it overnight. Now we're trading back downside. No bids showing up. So just that for me just says it was a bit of a squeeze up yesterday. And those buyers from London and Asia got trapped like we talked about. I mean, this is really ugly. If you were to swing long yesterday, you'd be, and didn't take profit, you'd be pretty miffed right now. Because if we close anywhere down here, we're going to get a 5-day, 20-day cross. Never a good look. That might mean that we go and attack then the lower bowl as they start to curl in. That lower bowl now is 19,900-ish. It will start to trade back towards where we are. So maybe comes into that 20,000 level, 20,020s, where we have those lows from early November. That's possible. It is possible. Just surprised that literally it's straight sell, not one person showing up on the book. So if you're in those continuation shorts, you're getting paid very, very nicely. Very, very nicely. Coming right down into that 930 level yesterday now. 500s basically. And they're just adding liquidity lower and lower, dragging it down. So 475 now, 400. No, you can't step in front, Exister. That's it. You cannot step in front of this. All right. So we had a thesis. It didn't play out. Like, we had our levels, but did we get structure at those levels? That's why I kept saying you cannot. Look at that New York open yesterday. We've just bid off it. You cannot just buy because we're coming into a level. It's what we talk about all the time. It's the easiest way to get smoked. You have to wait for structure. If structure doesn't materialize at that level, it means that your thesis is off. It means there's no buyers showing up. So then you can't buy. Remember, we want to buy where the whales are buying. If they're not buying, we're not buying. 20-day tag here on the SPY. So mean reversion complete on the SPY, right? It went from above the 5-day back to the 20-day. So a full rotation just completed on the SPY. We are already through those levels on the other markets right now. Pretty extended here from the flow zone. So please don't be shorting lows. Doesn't mean you're looking for longs, but don't be shorting the lows. Would like to see a pretty big retrace here for me to think about anything. So a nice bounce off the 20-day on the SPY. So the 5-day now on the SPY basically at your 930 level. So we've just pinned between. So it's possible if they don't want to continue lower today, if they want to build out liquidity, we will do that 5-day, 20-day dance for a day until they're ready. Always hard when I see this because it's like I said at the beginning, I know what I'm looking for. I'm going to wait for it. I'm not going to take the short down there. I'm just going to wait for the long to set up. And it doesn't set up, and then I can't do anything. So maybe it's hard, right? Maybe I should take the short down to the levels and lock in those profits. But I didn't. Hindsight. At least I had a plan, stick to the plan. VIX broke out. All right, so VIX now trading at 1870s as a high, 1815, so ripped straight through. It can reprice all the way up to 20, remember. All right, VIX is in a gap right now. Yes, yesterday's IBL, it's just below. I think I've got it at 507 or something. So location for shorts now is not good, right? Not ideal. This is yesterday's New York Open as well. We know we had strong buying under here yesterday. This was where buyers came in after that war news, after we swept Friday's low. So we know buyers have been stepping in this area here previously, but this would be the third visit into this now. Maxwell, you tried to sell, it didn't go well. I mean, the only nice sell was this one we talked about here. Right, and you had to be cautious. This retest was actually quite good, but you had to be cautious if they trap here. But momentum's been in a sell. We talked about it at the open. Momentum is in a sell. Location, we were looking for the buy, but we needed momentum to shift to a buy. It didn't shift to a buy, so there is not a lot to do for me, unfortunately. This is just a game of trading sometimes. So trading back into yesterday's value area low now. Which would be 505. So value area low from yesterday, 505. Friday's POC, sort of 495. Start letting go of that, and it's big trouble. You're going to have 1-2 days of bulls, maybe 3 days if you include today's, all stuck above. You got the trap area, very nice. 840 this morning up here. Yeah, very nice as we turned, and it's never looked back since. Never looked back since, just been straight selling down. So tag the IBL from yesterday. Tagged 500. How do they react here? Is this the start of a drive up? Some profit taking, maybe. Do they need to trade lower? Are they going to take out the double bottom Friday low last week, which we just about swept on NQ? We swept it by quite a lot yesterday pre-market on ES. You need to be careful if they start to manipulate, all right? It's the same thing here all the time. If they start to manipulate, if we start to taper, we have a big sell candle here. It might want to reprice some of this. It's not saying that you look for longs out the gate here. It's in a bearish flow, okay? I'm just saying shorting down here is asking to be in trouble. Not in anything, and I haven't been in anything, and that's okay. It's also okay. I've had a good week. I'm not going to chase this short of the lows. I'm definitely not going to step in front of it. Big level here. Right here. Old point of control. Dipped in once, dipped in twice, flushed it through yesterday, but we opened here, drove up. We're coming back to reprice it. If they're going to start failing this, this is what I was talking about yesterday. If we stayed heavy under here, we will come and take out all of this and reprice lower. All right, Mag 7 is getting destroyed right now. Flip over to here, you'll see it, hopefully. All of these, you can only see some of them. But Mag 7 getting absolutely destroyed. So if I'm playing NQ, I don't want to be looking for longs when all of Mag 7's red. Would a play down off the previous day open could have been an entry? It could, but I just the location at this point is starting to get away from you. But the 520s, you mean? As long as you've got a target and as long as you know what your risk is there. I mean, I guess you could be tight and you could say, I'm risking this, I'm entering here. But what's your target? I guess you're going to target Friday low, previous day low, somewhere down here. Still good RR, but just know that your location is not ideal. So you're in a continuation setup without good location. That's fine, as long as you are aggressive at taking partials, right, Thumper? It's not like those of you who had location up here, okay, and you're like partial, and now you're in a position where, because your location's so good, if you want to add, you can add, and then you're just trimming and holding runners. Very much like yesterday, right? Yesterday, we basically, on stream, we basically effectively got this move, but it took an hour to play, and we got this move down, and we probably should have held runners longer. Here's a reprice then. A decent reaction there again. Definitely some contest here of covering more than anything, I would say. So back to that IB low from yesterday. Still got magnets below, but I tell you what's just gone on the book. Magnets above. 625, 650, 675, 700. 100 lots stacked up. All right, first time I've seen them start stacking upside now. There's still 475, 450, 400 on the book. So they've split both sides now. So sellers above, buyers below. We're 7 minutes away from the initial balance, just remember. It's not far. So here is the start of a reaction. Doesn't mean they can't sell it lower. But you can see that they're starting to build. You might get some form of tapering here. If they start to reprice, it's easy to get back up here. If they start to reprice. Yesterday's open was right here. New York Open. Maybe you're looking at not at New York Thumper, but New York Open was here yesterday, 520, I think. Yeah, for the New York Open, you're talking about the midnight, the Asia Open, which would have been right. You would have been right, 6:30 on that daily candle. We talked about that. Yeah, that was a good level. Definitely some tapering here. Okay, this is the first sign of tapering. I'm in very, very small, very, very early long here because I just feel like this is the start. So I'm going to take a partial here and I'm going to move my stop break even straight away. It's just a bit of sense of like what's happening here, right? As we start to reclaim. Take one more off. Comfortably in the money now. All right, this is, I don't know what to call this, intuition from trading a long time of when we get tapering like this. All right, and I know if we run this now, we open the gate for a move to reprice some of this. So I'm in early with small size. It is early, I know it's early. Don't tell me off, but it's just a bit of intuition. That's what happens when you've been trading a long time. Aid, I love it. I absolutely love it, Aid. So you smashed that short the whole way down. Very, very nice. All right, I'm locking most in there. So I've just locked in $5,000 there across the accounts. So across 5 accounts, just over $1,000 on each. Trading my bigger accounts right now. Hey, Aid, do you know how happy that makes me to see you taking it, understanding what we're looking at? You knew it wasn't bullish. There was no reason to get bullish. I know I've just got bullish just on that squeeze back up to New York Open. I'm out now. I'm going to wait now. Nice, Exister. All right, so we see this tapering. Those of you who have done the course, we are starting to taper. So I would want to see bids hold above here now. If bids hold above here, this liquidity level, and then we can start to do this move. Right? This will be a counter trend move today. All right, so when you're long today, you are taking partials fast. This will be the move, this here, and then a reprice into here. Right, you want most your money out of here, and then if it wants to be really nasty, if they've just dumped this down hard to rebuy it up so they get a better price for Nvidia, then you're just going to have to hold your runners. We're not going to be buying high today because we are counter trend. Right, but here's your reprice to flow zones. That was the first move I was looking for. Nice, Tyson. Yeah, so there are always scalps available. I know it's counter trend, but there are always scalps available. When we're extended from here, there's always scalps available back into here. A bit like this, really. This wasn't as nice, but if we're extended from flow zones, there are always scalps available. When we get into flow zones, then you're thinking about continuation, right? You don't want to short down here. You want to short into flow zones with bearish structure, into flow zones, right? They will keep you continuation. Oh my God, can't draw. Continuation, right? This didn't quite reach it. This feels a bit extended. So now they really need to get continuation. If they don't, all the sellers down here, that's why I didn't want to sell down here. What are they going to do? They're going to get trapped. What happens? They stop out, use their momentum for upside, right? So that's what I was playing there. I was looking for it to go. It didn't go as much as I wanted. I was actually looking for a real burst there on volume to just really drive us. It might still happen. It might still happen. But sort of this level here, if we're talking about structure-wise, this level here needs to hold. And then build this level here out. And then stop run for move up. Yeah? Where did we just dip into? What was this red level that I had in that should have been blue? Old point of control. Where did we find buyers yesterday? Right, if we go to a 5-minute chart, just this one above, where did we find buyers yesterday? Right here. Remember, this was the sweep of Friday's low yesterday. Buyers stepped in, we got continuation. So we've repriced all the way down. What I would be thinking about now is two things. Do buyers step in here And if they do, what are they forming? Well, this could be an inverse cup, and we could just form a handle for continuation lower, unless they set a squeeze and reclaim the whole thing, which is why I'm saying buys today are counter trend, because now this is very possible. And a break of here, continuation down. So make sure you're zoomed out, make sure you understand what you're looking at and why. Noah, 4,500 profit. I love it. Great job, team. So I'm assuming most of you have locked in big money. You were taking that short all the way down, riding it down with the flow zones. Taking the short while I was sitting on my hands saying I'm waiting for the long, and it never came, which is great. That's good. You're trading the right way. I also traded the right way because there was no long until I took it for that tapering move. And I'm out now because I know it's early, so I'm just going to wait now. Inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Yeah, so it's micro, right? It's a micro move. This right here needs to hold in and around here, build this out, and start to do this move to reprice some of these levels. If it doesn't do that though, right? If it doesn't do that, this is counter trend. The trend is down. So remember, we go up to go down. So if it doesn't trap shorts here, if it wants to go lower, strong trend, pull back, strong trend, pull back, strong trend, pull back, not so strong trend, pull back. This is why I'm thinking this might be the start of a return inside. Can easily be wrong. If they want to continue lower, they will continue lower. There are targets to aim for. I would say the targets to aim for now are 422 and 385. So anything long today, you have to be scalping out. One of those days where, you know, hindsight, it's one of those hindsight days where I think, could I have got short off the open knowing, right, my levels were 600 to 5, were they? I'll have to check the chat. But I knew I wanted to get long down here if it did this, which it never did. So really, I have to ask, is that worth the short down to there? It is. It is worth the short down to there, and I should have taken it. And definitely the start of, oh, come on, chart. So this is your first low, higher low here now, right? So it's starting to play. So if you're in this long, great. Just remember, pay yourselves on the way up. Pay yourselves because you're counter trend. Shorts have just got stuck down here again. Same thing every single day, right? Same thing every single day, but you counter trend. So you've got to pay yourself. Like even that move there on an M1, it just offered you 40 points to pay yourself. Make sure you are paying yourself today. Upside targets now. Sellers above 600, 625, 650, 100 lots. They're still there, right? They are still there up there. There you go. So we're going to get continuation higher here if they can squeeze all these guys out. Here we go. Here we go. So at least we're one of one with me. And if you did what I was saying you should do, but I wasn't in, you should be up very, very nicely. Lots of you are up very nicely today. I know I sound like a broken record. You have to lock in some of these longs and then hold the runners. All right. What you don't want to see is a little pop and sellers come straight back in and slam it. I don't think that's going to happen, but you have to err on the side of caution when we counter trend. So far off this low now, we're at almost 100 points. So we're talking about longs in here. I got long in here at 509. So 60 points now already from that 509. Very nice. Let's go, Tyson. Love it. And again, that's very good money. Oh, sorry. Thank you. That's still the wrong one. Tired today, you can tell. I'm getting ready for my vacation, so my brain is starting to switch off. Okay, so first level liquidity just got swept there into 68. All right, so we have this big kill candle here with volume. Can it reprice into this? This is where bears started reattacking today. Right, so you would expect them to show up again here. If we reprice here and we just hold, this is a bigger inverse head and shoulders. So we've got a micro, so fractal into a bigger. If we reprice this, where can we move back up to? I would say up into here where we opened today. Right, what we got here? We've got IB rotation, initial balance low, VWAP. I'm actually going to put a VWAP on for the New York session here because we've had a big move. So let me just anchor one to New York Open. This candle. All right, so if we're going to do a rotation to New York VWAP, I'm going to do this as green as well. Let's do it like that. Okay, so from IB low, we know from IB low to VWAP is a very common trade. So even when you counter trends like me, as long as you're patient and you let the market show you, remember, I didn't get long in here. There were no longs in here for me, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here. I got long here and scalped them out. Here's a good trade to scalp them out. It will need to hold now these levels. If it doesn't, you don't want a 2 try and then a failure under here, an extension. That is problematic, right? So you can't be overstaying your welcome on the longs. You got to get a good entry structure wise. There's your low, higher low. You need it to protect this level here for continuation, right? Really simple. If it doesn't protect that level, you don't want to be in it. Can just be short covering. Where's ES just moved to? 20-day moving average, right? So we went under 20-day moving average and moved back to 20-day. The SPY cannot get a close underneath the 20-day moving average. So where's it likely to go? VWAP 5-day. That's where it will want to go if it cannot close lower. So if you've made money today, whether you're on the short side or the long side, please hit that like button. Drop me a W in chat. Drop me a W and put long short or win W short or win long. Or if you got both, tell me. That's even better. If you're one of the people that managed to get both sides, awesome work. Win with a short, nice aid. Yeah, you killed it. Win short. Most of you should be winning short. Win long, nice David, you got it with me. Small win long, hey, small win long's good. Small win long. Any of you who got a win long, it's probably going to be much smaller than those who got the win short, right? Because the range hasn't been as good. But we are starting to expand, right? Need a breaker structure here now, right? So we want higher low, higher low, higher low against this resistance, right? This is what we are looking for. Up to VWAP, reprice this. Then we have to wait. This will probably chop. Unless they put a giant squeeze on, this will need to chop and consolidate because that's what we did here. We need to build out liquidity here. Otherwise, into here, it might fail and come back down. So you must be taking profits into these levels. Cannot be entering late on the long side today. The only time we're going to enter late on the long side today is after it builds consolidation. If it builds consolidation in this area and builds out some form of flag with a trap, right, we can get this. And then we can enter here for expansion back up. Other than that, we're scalp mode. Both sides, nice. Chris, decent both sides. I love it. Love it. Look at all you guys smashing it. So breaker structure here. So we're expecting continuation higher. All right, just wicked it out. We're expecting continuation higher. into and around VWAP. Like I said, we have those orders, those sell orders on the book now. So 612, there's 109 lot. 625, there's 102 lot. 637, there's a 62 lot. 650, there's 114 lot. And 675, there's a 50 lot. Right, they weren't on there. This is a good way to read bookmap. They weren't on there as we were moving down. But once we got to here, they were like, oh, okay, we're going to go back up. So we want to sell up here. So either they scoop long for this, or they're continuation short sitting up here to get a price to drive back down. When we drive back down, then we'll be looking for a potential double bottom if it does this. But so far, look at the rotation off the initial balance low. What are we coming into? VWAP. Very, very common trade. We talk about it almost every day on stream. We talk about this trade. That first higher low. This flag here, right here, you could have risked this very tight or risk this if you wanted to risk more for this move into here. Very nice. So you can make money both sides. As long as you're patient, you will make money both sides of the trade. You just can't guess bottoms. Once you get out of the habit of guessing bottoms and guessing tops, and you just start to take continuation, so much easier. So expect some selling to come in here. All right, so you might get some front running here, some longs taking some profits. We expect some selling in and around here. VWAP, an edge of where we broke down from. So we're long up into that and not inside that, right? We're not going to get long inside that unless it builds out liquidity. But it's definitely a change on the lower time frame now. Look at the H1. Look at this H1. And keep forgetting to convert this to blue. Let's make this blue. Long wick, repricing most this H1 candle now. So into 616, 644, 685, all these levels if it can do it. If it can do it. Repricing the older imbalances on the M5 as well. Yeah, VWAP would be good. VWAP would be good. It's not far away, right? I'll be looking at this New York VWAP, right? Because this one's far. Off the New York session, which is how we create the initial balance. Basically into 600. So you got pretty close here. You got 8 points away. Yeah, Thumper, everything. Absolutely everything in the course. You will learn everything, every single playbook, everything I mark out, how I use everything. Yeah, looking forward to working with you and teaching you. Yeah, there's loads in there. It's over 20 hours long. There's a lot of stuff in there to go over. More, it starts at very, very beginner friendly. So as if you've done nothing, and it just works the way through until you get to the advanced level. And I'm always in the room as well. So if you have any questions, I'm always available. Remember, that course is on sale right now using code Black Friday. Totally forgot to change it on stream. So I will In fact, maybe I'll do that now. See if it will let me do that. So flow zones are going to start trying to go green here if they can hold bids. But again, this is the only time frame they are going green on. If you go 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, they're all red still. Okay, so very, very early here for them to go green. Again, the easy trade was 2 VWAP. Okay, you should be runners only here. Shouldn't be adding up here. You're asking for trouble. We're going to add later up here if we form bullish patterns up here. But you are in this channel up right now. Every little flag is paying. That's because shorts are trapped underneath here. Right, underneath New York Open, they got trapped. They tried to force it down and got trapped, and now they're getting forced to cover. So we're going to keep doing this until they're all blown out and sellers want to come in. So here's your VWAP tap right now. Right, so please take a partial into this if you're still in it. This is your VWAP tap. Shorts are about to get cooked here if sellers don't come back into the market. So now 100 points up from that entry I took. Again, a bit like yesterday, should have held, should have been really adding and adding and adding for this move. But I was very cautious after such a big sell-off. But it's a good reprice here. Repriced all the way up to that old key level now on the hourly, old value area low. So hourly, if it gets through 613 and 644, we can go and reprice this old hourly candle, right? Look at this wick. If we get through here, we can actually go and reprice some of this. Sounds wild, but we can easily do it. If this was forced down to V-shape back up, it can do it. Where's Nvidia trading at? Nvidia only 1.5% down. If they want to go for that 150 today, they've just bought really cheap to send it back upside, right? It's manipulation. They're manipulating it lower, trapping shorts, pairing it off with buys, forcing it back up. So we are into a buy model right now. I would like to see some form of pullback, really. I don't want to just see us straight V shape. So either we consolidate here or we pull back into this range, double bottom kind of move for a W. So it will look like this, and then we can go back higher. I don't want to buy up here right now. Very high risk. So a lot of those orders got filled. We talked about those sell orders. Some of them pulled, actually. You can just see some of them pulled. So it looks like they were just trying to drag it up there. So 612 and 625 have pulled their orders. So they're spoofing. They just wanted to drag the market up. And how do I know they've pulled? Because on Bookmap, it shows me on the heat map that they were there and then their order's gone. Lovely, Tyson. Passed another combine on that move. I love it. On the long. I love it, Aid. Good work. Great work, team. Love to see it. So 10 minutes away from a new hourly bar. So we've repriced this whole hourly bar, right? The whole hour from 10 to 11. We've repriced this whole bar. We dropped all the way down to where we found buyers yesterday, pre-market and New York Open, and then we've repriced it all the way up. So we know that this is a strong level. Buyers and buyers, they keep showing up. My fear was that we break down under it, but we've soaked again. What does that mean? We're just in a range, guys. Okay, here's your range. This is a range. Not a very good drawing, but this is the range. These are buyers that are trapped. These are sellers that are trapped. This is range rotation. Those in Discord, read my comments today. I said it's highly probable we'd get range rotation. Did I think we'd go this low? I'm going to be honest, I really didn't. My plan today was to come in here and do a W and go, or to come in here and do a W and go. I really didn't think we'd come all the way down here. Did not think we'd do that. Like I always say, the market would do whatever it wants. This is looking very, very, very bullish right now. Latest Tyson, have a good day. Remember team, tomorrow will be my last stream with you. I won't be here Friday and I won't be here next week on vacation, but I'm back after that. So do they hold the New York VWAP here? I guess that's the question. Do they hold the 20-day on the ES? SPY traded up towards the VWAP. Didn't quite get there. QQQ also traded to VWAP, has not got a close above it. So we're at VWAP on most things. Thanks, DJ Noah. Appreciate it. Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I'm going to have a great time. It would be nice. It'd be nice to get off the screens for a bit. I love it, Abe. I have a very good relationship with them. It's all right. They're cool people. I've got some stogies ready. Some nice Cohibas ready to have with my father-in-law. A couple of bottles of scotch next door, which I bought. Should be good. So just seeing now if we can get some form of pullback for a continuation long, right? We want some form of pullback. I don't want it just to squeeze all the way up. Some form of pullback. It can be a quasi. It can be up here if it wants. Maybe we come and wash these first and do a microstructure. I just don't want to buy high on this move, on this leg here. I don't want to buy high. I want to buy either here or I want to see it trap and offer me liquidity to go up. We know it's a good move off here. It's been a very, very good move off the lows. 140 point move off the low. Don't want to be buying a 140 point move at the high off that low. This can also, where are my channels? Remember, this can just be a giant bear flag. I doubt it is, but it is possible. These are the swing points up here. So if we think about how the market has moved, right? This is the downtrend. This is like your pullback. Downtrend. This is your pivot, right side of the V, left side of the V, buy cycle. So do we get a pullback to hold, or do they just sell really hard? I think we get a pullback to hold. That's what we're looking for. When we think about how deep it's going to be, we can think about where liquidity is. We can think about VWAP. We can think about fibs off this low. But what I don't want to do is buy high. If it's just going to go in squeeze mode and V-shaped bottom and go up all day, it's going to be a pain, you know, if it's going to do that. Thanks, Aid. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Way to a man's heart. Yeah, stogies and scotch. On the wrong chart for you guys again. Jesus, Alex. Get it together, mate. Get it together. So ES coming back to test its 20-day. All right, ES is repriced its 10-minute. That big imbalance we've had. Same on QQQ. It's repriced most of it. Are they just going to straight rip this higher? Right? Like I keep saying. This kind of pull here. I want to see us either build a pull here or build a pull down here with a trap. I really don't want to just buy this here. It's going to make it very, very tricky. But I feel like this could just be the story of the session. Shorts trapped at the low. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. The SPY not quite at its VWAP yet. All right, SPY not quite there. ES definitely nowhere near there. NQ, sorry, QQQ sitting right at its VWAP. NQ is over its New York VWAP, so this is basically equivalent of QQQ VWAP, but it's not including pre-market data. So this is New York VWAP. This is your actual VWAP on the day. So I've just anchored this to the open because this was so far away after the sell. We can even anchor off the low. This is average price of buyers right now, down into 560. I need a pullback to get involved here. I really need a pullback to get involved. Might not get involved at all, but I'm up 5,400 and something. Don't need to force it. Do not need to force it. I'd say technically on like a M5 and things like that, we're still in bearish structure just because it would be like this. So this is the key level here. This is why I'm looking for them to build liquidity here, or even better, offer me a cheap buy down here for a rotation in, and then I can add. But it really is just starting to feel like those shorts have not learnt their lesson all week long. VIX got absolutely hammered, by the way, in that push back into 16. So it's traded back down to 1780 now. So it's at its breakout point. So is this a breakout retest on the VIX? Do they find bids on this VIX for a retry up into that gap? close the gap into 20. If we start failing these levels here, maybe it trades down to the midpoint 17, and then the lows would be 16.20 and 16.15.80. If it trades anywhere near down there, the market's just going to be like a rocket upside. But even if you just took the signals today, right? If you do the course and take the signals, this was a beautiful sell signal. Remember, we ignore these buy signals when we're in supply. Red box. We take the sell signal all the way down. This would be your cover point. You could just flip this long. All right, if this starts to go short, it will go short around here and it will retest this low. There are traders in the community who just trade the signals and nothing else. You trade the buy and the sell signals, not the pullback signals, just the buy and sell signals. And go very, very nicely out of it. So we're into previous day open here. All right, stuck at previous day open. Still holding all bids. Shorts mega trapped at the lows. Same way as those bulls overnight in London, Asia are trapped at the highs. These shorts are now trapped at the lows, and we're now probably near the mid-range. Right? If we think about initial balance high today was the opening print. Down to the low, we are into mid-range, like 50% of the move. So hopefully some of you caught almost 50% of the move. It might have felt like you missed a lot, but actually this move up was very good. Very, very good. Just as good as this short back down. Exactly the same size. I really would not be surprised to see this market V-shape and go really, really hard upside today, just because of NVIDIA. I can imagine them doing that. I can very much imagine them dumping the market this morning to buy it cheap so that they have cheap calls, right? And they have cheap commons, as in physical stock, into NVIDIA earnings tonight after hours. If they are betting on a 150 breakout, that would be an all-time high breakout. The amount of stops which will get absolutely destroyed for that move up can really, really push volatility. You can easily do 20 points, NVIDIA. Easily in after hours. It can easily do that. Remember, there's no stops in after hours. It can run people over. Demand is as high as they're saying it is. If they're able to produce these black chips that they need to produce, there has been issues of overheating, but if they're able to produce them, those earnings could be monstrous. We could be having a big gap up tomorrow. If they miss, whole different ballgame. Normally, right, normally you don't like buying all-time highs into earnings. So that might be a good reason for them to have shoved it lower today. So market started to thin out a little bit here. An hour into lunch, no huge orders left on the book. Other than, no, he's pulled it. No huge orders left. The 50 lot at 700, there's nothing else notable. Just in a slow grind higher here now. So any questions? You want to go over anything? Anyone in chat want to go over anything? We got some nice trades today in chat. Lots of you got the short. I didn't get the short, but lots of you got it. We talked about it. And lots of you got this long with me. Any good copiers for Mac? Does Replicanto work on Mac? I thought Replicanto worked on Mac. That means you're trading. You're trading on web-based browsers, are you? What platform are you trading on? What's your name? Amari's. What platform are you trading on? TradeOvate, TradingView. Well, TradeOvate has its own copier built in. There is one launching. It's in beta stage right now. It's called Trader Sync. I think they might have launched actually in the last few days. It's worth checking that out. They might have it here. I'm going to post it in chat for you. But I use Replicanto. But I don't trade on Mac, so I'm not sure. No worries. But yeah, Replicanto is very good. Just check if it works on Mac for web-based stuff. Should really work now. Now that Ninja own TradeOvate, it should work. TradeOvate definitely has one built in, but if you're using multiple prop firms, that's when you need a copier. If you're just using one prop firm, it will have it in inside TradeOvate. That's fine. So still building out liquidity here. All right, we're still building out higher lows. What I'd say is there's some liquidity here. If it starts to fail under 607, this might be the deeper one. And then we can see if and how we react here for upside. But so far, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Where was the shift? The moment we got that tapering, this was the shift. The moment we got this tapering here, if we look at this structure, bang. Above here, squeeze. Higher low, higher high. Higher low, higher high. Higher low, higher high. We're still in higher lows and higher highs, but now the best place to buy was down here, down here. Now we need to wait. Right? In my opinion, we need to wait. Some of what I do is a little bit discretionary. I've been doing this a long time now, so I just get a good feel for the market. Like I felt like we were going to turn here. It just felt very obvious once we repriced, started moving. I feel like the market should really come and reprice lower. If bulls really want to show up, they need to start showing their hand. There should be resting orders down here. There isn't resting orders down there. It's a little bit of a worry, but maybe because we're an hour away from lunch. Remember the main structure, this was this selling liquidity to take us lower. So until we technically break out of that from like an M5, M15 point of view, etc., we can still trade lower technically. But this feels like an excess low down here. Look at the volume. So I'd expect us to protect that. Flow zone's holding now, right? Lower time frame structure for now on an M1 is bullish. Flow is bullish. We are holding the key EMAs. We are holding the flow zones. The momentum clouds are close to crossing over the deep pullback clouds. One thing I want to talk about, we talked about it at the beginning of the session. Look how close now this 5-day and 20-day is. If we start getting this, this is a big problem for the market. Because the next thing it likes to do, if we get a bearish cross and we actually get continuation, it will want to search for the Bollinger Bands. They are starting to trade inwards. But this lower bowl down here, in line with these by the time it gets there, right? We know this is a huge liquidity pool here. 1, 2, 3, 4 days of trading down here. You could argue all of these as well. All of these stops down here. This is dating back into September now. So if it is a big if this becomes a bear flag, if we get a cross, if we do a move like this over the next few weeks, there is a ton of liquidity to search for here. Tons. I'm not saying we do that. It's just something to be aware of. And the other thing I was looking at, this drive that we've done, we bounced off the golden zone, and then from the high to the low here, we came to 50%. So I don't want to buy above this, and I want to be cautious on momentum. If you look at this, if you struggle to see patterns, like I always talk about, use a line chart. This is what I've been drawing in. This, we would need this, we would need this. We get through this, very thin to here. And I expect this to hold a supply. Holding New York VWAP there. All right, held New York VWAP again. This might be flagged for continuation now. What email do I have in the middle? The blue one on the 1 minute. This? What are you talking about? This one? $13.21.34 Fibonacci's. Who told you that, Gabriel? No, that's nonsense. Whoever told you that, that's absolute nonsense. Fibs are in absolutely everything we do. All the time, in every part of life. Look, we literally just did this. Let's go to the... All right, where did we stop? From this range to the high, where did we stop? Golden zone fib. All buyers came in, golden zone fib. High to low, where did we peak out in today's session? 50. Where are we likely to want to drive into? Golden zone fib. Extensions. I can do like... Works with everything. All right, Bitcoin consolidation. High to lower flag. Where did we pause? 161. Where are we driving up to? Measured move. Where's that measured move? Top Bollinger. It works with everything. Go into an institutional bank of traders. Like, I've got friends that I went to university with that trade at Standard Bank, Morgan Stanley. Most of them trade silver and copper. They trade off fibs. Anyone who tells you otherwise is, you know, just talking nonsense, to be quite honest. This whole debunked thing. Debunked by who? I'm interested, like, that's not hate from me either. I'm interested who told you it's debunked. Was it an 18-year-old kid that watches a 50-year-old man fake trade? Because that's normally what it is. But they'll tell you that their standard deviations work. Standard deviations have always worked as well. They're based off fibs and measured moves, right? I used to only trade off standard deviations. You want to learn standard deviations to the truest point? Go and watch Connor from Boiler Room Trading. I think he's the best trader of standard deviations there is in the market. I've never seen anyone trade standard deviations as well as him. Very, very good trader at that. I don't trade that strategy, but he's good at standard deviations. Some good scripts for it as well. Exactly. There's no wrong way to trade. Bobo TV. Did I say it right? Bobo TV. There's no wrong way to trade. Well, there is. if you're closing your eyes and just slamming buttons. Yep, so trading back towards this anchored VWAP. This is average price of buyers from the low of day. Right, this is their average price as they've started to bid it up. Structural wise, like we said, we didn't want to get long up here because this is where supply was, right? So we're starting to break down. So you need to see, does it break down? Does it offer bullish structure? Does it do it here? Where is the end of this pullback? Or does it not end at all? Yeah, exactly. He is a very good trader of standard deviations. I don't know what he trades now. My bad. I don't know what he trades now, but he is a very good trader of standard deviations. Yeah, this is the anchored VWAP off the low. Remember the light blue line. So this is average price of buyers off that low right now. I don't think he trades that actively anymore. I chat with Brandon. I haven't chatted with him for ages, but I know he runs the room over there now, I think. But he's currently in cancer treatment. But they're good guys, nice guys. That means you've been around a little while, Bo, if you remember then trading small caps. So M15 on that squeeze move up, we can reprice the M15 down towards 540 if it really wants. Somewhere down here. Remember, this is liquidity. What do you know? Holding a fib for a flag. How weird. So I'm just being an idiot. Let's see what it does now. Let's see what it does now. You'd need to see some form of bullish structure. Maybe it's got to reprice some of this. Maybe it does this and traps. Again, don't guess the bottoms on this. All right, flow today has been bearish until we put in that pivot low at the initial balance low. We've traded from the initial balance low to VWAP. All right, same with the SPY. It traded from IB low to its VWAP on the SPY. Same on QQQ, same on NQ. ES didn't get there. It probably got there on a New York session, but it didn't get there on the overnight VWAP. Oh, nice, Miguel. That you've always got to take trading seriously, my friend. If you don't take it seriously, you get yourself caught. But yeah, I look forward to working with you. I've got to get some food and a coffee in a minute. It's getting to that time. I start to feel my stomach rumbling. I've been up since 5 a.m. It's now 20 past 8 for me. Let's get these likes up to 50, guys. It's not asking a lot. 11 more likes. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'm live here every single day from before market open into lunch. We are 100% on the week. We've got a very high win rate in the stream. I reckon it's over 90%. Am I picky with trades? Yes. But do we get 50, 100, 200 point winners regularly? Yes, we do. Very regularly on stream, we're getting those. We caught one yesterday. I caught one with the team short for 60 points, 770 short into 710 as well. So if you were in Discord yesterday, might have got some of that. We got the long today, and a lot of you got the short. I didn't get the short. Very jealous. So this is anchored VWAP off the low, right? This is the average price of buyers. It doesn't mean it has to hold up. It's just a level of interest. I'd say we are starting bearish structure here, right? This is your breakdown. We have stops around here and here and here. So I'm interested, do buyers come back in some of these areas where we had bigger moves upside, where we left engulfing candles upside? We know buyers liked participating here. If we don't see buying structure, if we don't see a W or an inverted head and shoulders, we're not going to long it down there, right? Because it can just roll over. Like we said, on the higher time frame, what we have to be aware of is, where am I? I have to do, we talked about this earlier. This pullback leg might be the start of a handle. This is the start of the handle. You can wait for something like this. So far, that anchored VWAP is holding. You're going to have to excuse me for just a moment. I'll be back soon. So just doing that dance right now between VWAP, anchored VWAP, flow zones starting to go back into a sell on a 1 minute. Remember, on a higher time frame, they were probably never flipped. They were always in sell, so pullback sell on everything above a 1 minute. So it's important to know where you are at in terms of the higher time frames. We might well just base out for a while through lunch and then see what they do post lunch. Tesla getting absolutely slapped today now, down 10 points on the day, almost 3%. Nvidia hanging around that 145 mark, but all of Mag 7 still red. Treasuries are green on the day, increasing pressure on the market. Where's the Dixie at today? Green again. Wild. BTC holding at 94,000. It wants that measured move. The moment it held 88 and 92, it was opening the gate for that move higher. All of FX red today. And no big orders on the book, right? That for me is often a key thing. What do we talk about? Low-hanging fruit trades. Low-hanging fruit trades. We've pretty much had the low-hanging fruit. Today was you had that sell and then you got the IB rotation back to VWAP. Right? Once we have the low-hanging fruit trades, once they've been and gone, you have to think about walking away or sizing down. If you can get into that habit of knowing what the low-hanging fruit trade is and trying to play for that trade and then not trading anything else afterwards, unless it's very, very obvious. Because right now, here's your now range down here. This is bearish momentum. Okay, what are you looking to retest? Okay, maybe some internal liquidity down here. But it can just do this, and then you're going to have to flip your stop into a buy, and then that might just search for this, and then this might go back and forwards, until they decide to do something with the Mag 7, especially Nvidia. All eyes are on Nvidia today for earnings. That's what everyone is looking at right now. Maybe if we break down here with a bear flag, they come for this level here. Yeah, maybe if they break down. Equally, this can be the first sign of a trap. Push, pull back. This is now your internal range. There is an imbalance to fill on the M15. It can take you down to 540s. M15 still bearish. M5 still bearish. Yeah. You need some form of trap or some form of double bottom like this. Around here, somewhere around here. Otherwise, you can just do this like we've talked about all day on stream. Can move lower if it wants. What will be the easy sign that would move lower? Expansion underneath IB low. Where will it target? These liquidity levels here. One set of stops, two set stops, 2 daily stops down here. If you get expansion under IB low, maybe you get to this. Be very cautious at this point. You either get a waterfall break or you get a snap straight back up. So understand the liquidity pools if we get down there. Understand that right now we are in a range rotation day between IB high, IB low. No worries, Minix. Have a good day. Tried twice to change character M2, but didn't. Yeah, couldn't get through these levels really. I mean, the early trades were here. We think about this. Once it did this, there's technically a change of character here, but only up to these levels. This is your M5, M15 level. There's an imbalance here on the M15 down to 40s. I think I said it was. Right, you can see it. If I go to this, right, see this big candle? Right, so this is still bearish on the M15. Look, M15, this is all we've done. This candle here is the imbalance. That's where shorts got forced to cover. So if buyers don't come back in where shorts got forced to cover to send it back up to break, and then we get the change of character, then we likely do that. But we're trading under value area low right now into yesterday's value area low. that low of day we've put in today is Monday's point of control. Monday or Friday? Friday's point of control. If we start to fail that, we are opening the gate. All right, we are opening the gate for a move all the way down to 20,035. Well, actually, first up will be 20,065, 20,035, 20,270, and then really all the way down to 20,100s. So if this is a giant bear flag, if this is a giant bear flag and this is the range and this is failure, if we get under here, you have to look left. So where are the old levels? Old gap, old point of control. This is where we found buyers pre-election. This is election. This is midpoint. This is where we found buyers pre-election. Definitely starting to slow down here, though. It will accelerate if buyers get trapped or shorts get trapped down here. It will start to accelerate again. Half an hour left till lunch. If you made good money today, all right, if you've got one or two good trades, if you caught that short all the way down, if you got 50, 100 points back up, ask yourself, do you need to sit around for the rest of the day? Volatility will start to increase as we get closer and closer to the close today. They will want to start hedging for Nvidia. You will probably get some wild moves. I would not be hanging around for that personally. VIX, like we talked about, it held that back test of sort of 18 to 1780 and it's now driven back upside. 1850. It breaks 1880, it can send it to 20. It does that, the market's going to absolutely puke. You have to remember, we said today, longs are counter trend, right? So we have to be understanding that the long that we took, all these longs here, these are counter trend, which is why I kept saying lock in some profits. You don't know where sellers will come back in, but we know we're not going to get long up here where they've told us they were selling before. So we don't get long there unless we base out and do this. So now we're waiting to see. Buyers came in here earlier, but it could have just been shorts covering. So if they've reshorted here, have to be careful for a breakdown under here. We don't get long until it tells us to get long, until there's a reason to get long. Starting to lose anchored VWAP now, so I'm going to get rid of that. So buyers, their average price, they're now underwater. We have now repriced that M15. What did I say? It could reprice all the way down to 40, 42. Or if we just hit 45s, 48s, not far away. So basically into here, right, where buyers came in. But we kept saying our buyer's going to come back in. If so, this will be the move back up. It's just a question of liquidity all the time. That's all it is. But we're just talking about internal liquidity right now. Unless we break IB low, and then we're talking about external liquidity. External liquidity will be the lows that we left on Friday and yesterday. Hopefully that makes sense for everyone. I know it can probably feel overwhelming sometimes. Exactly, DJ Noah. Can it hold into and around 540 or double bottom low of day? If it can, has the chance to do some form of bullish structure on a lower time frame, which on a higher time frame might look like a W pattern. On a higher time frame, I'm talking about an M15 or something like that, an M5, not an H1 or anything like that. This might be two legs. They hold in and around here. We're looking to see how it acts here. That's what you're looking at. About 78%, Gabriel, 78%, 76, 78%. Last week was a very low win rate for me. But what I will say is that can be a little bit skewed because I'm very aggressive with my stops. Very aggressive with my stops. So even if I feel like a trade's going against me or might go against me, there's a lot of time I'll move my stop just above break even. Yeah, and that will count as a win. So it's not necessarily, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 hour winner, if that makes sense. So I think sometimes it can be a bit skewed, that win rate. A lot of those that count as wins are probably break-even trades. Just being honest with you. I protect my capital. When I'm trading momentum, yeah, like you saw here when I traded momentum earlier, I want it to go and I want it to go instantly. So if I'm trading momentum and expecting it to go, when it starts to go, my stop is moving up with it because I don't expect it to come back near where I am. Yeah, so if I'm trading this here, the moment this happens, my stop's moving straight up here. I don't then expect it to need to come back down here. Hopefully that makes sense. So it can be skewed. So if it came back down here and I'm one tick up, counts as a win, but really it's a break even. If you trade the flow zones, there's a guy called Jerry in the chat. I think he was having a similar win rate, about 78%. He wasn't taking pullback trades. He was only trading the main one. So buy, sell again here, sell, buy. Problem is overnight you won't get the big range, but in the days, New York sessions, nice sell here. I took this yesterday. Bit messy here in the that session there, but if you move to a 2 minute, gives you cleaner signals. There you go, cleaner signals. Yeah, only following the indicators, high win rate. But I would say I would go for a 1 minute. I wouldn't go for a 1 minute. I'd go for 2 minute, 3 minute. But if you're using the 1 minute, you've just got to be aware that you're scalping. Yeah, because where are you taking profit? You don't want to take profit when it switches necessarily. So I take profit when we're extended or we're into liquidity. Now we flipped. Okay, so you're in a sell here. I'd be taking profit back into this range that we've talked about. So you've still got to understand structure that you're looking at, but it will offer you, like you can see, it will offer you good trades. Steve, do I take them? Honestly, I don't really use the signals that much for me. They're on there to like help students understand what's happening. Is this the start of DW? Look at that push. A little bit of volume, not much follow through in this last candle of volume yet, but I would say that M15 is rebalanced and it's holding. So now we're talking about this move, right? We've planned this out beforehand. If it's going to do this, if it's just going to squeeze and not let us in, it's going to be frustrating. That's a 50-point ripper. Oh. Maybe could have just taken that break right there. Oh, well. At least you see the levels work. Understanding the levels is important. You've got to read the charts. That was a rebalance move into the M15. This is where we found buyers earlier. Okay, this is where we found buyers. Well, you don't want to get short into levels where we know we found buyers. So they are protecting this now. Now we've got a change here. So we're looking for drives upside now. Problem is, this is so aggressive. We don't want to buy it up here, right? We want to be buying down here. This would be much better if it just did this move. You don't always get what you want. Unfortunately, the market is has got a mind of its own, and we can have a good idea of what it wants to do, but getting it. Oh, Abe, are you long versus that 540 then? I didn't see you say that, my bad. Yes, testing its 20-day, testing its 5-minute flow zones. QQQ not at its 20-day yet. SPY. Nice, good work, Abe. It was a good level. It made sense. It was a good level. I don't love how quickly it moved away without letting me in, but it was a good level. We need 2 more likes. 2 more likes, people, to get to 50 for the day. We've got to get to at least 50. We're calling the market very nicely at the moment. "20 minutes until lunch." Is that the end of the selling? These guys. Still in this range here, right? We are still in this range. Technically, this can still fail up here, right? Technically, we're still in a range, but this looks very good to me. Something like that. I would much rather have been buying down here with a nice move for me to get in. We kept calling it over and over again. This is the type of thing, a sweep of some of this liquidity, a tap back in to an M15 level and a push away from it. I don't love it when it does such explosive moves away without letting me in. "50 likes. We got there. Thank you, everyone. If you've enjoyed this stream, if it's helping you, please do me a favor, share this channel with your mates. All right, share it with your mates. Free every single day. I'm here every single day. Monday to Friday, before market open into lunch. Always talk about what I'm looking for and why. So even if you don't trade it, even if you trade differently to me, hopefully you can learn something. Yes, full time, Andrew. Yeah. Pull back off the anchored view up on New York session holding. All right, this is the move that we were talking about. This liquidity building here. So stops are now here. Intraday short stops are here. If they take this out, it's likely we'll have the juice to get through. Looking very, very good here. I am in this long. Like I said, I'm looking for that dip. I'm in it long. And again, my stop has already moved up, break even and above. All right, because I want momentum. I want a squeeze here. I want shorts to cover over 645, 650 for that squeeze straight up. Looking very, very good here. Beautiful. So again, this was planned out while we were up here. All right, I planned this out 45 minutes ago. understanding the market, understanding the structure, understanding who's trapped, where's their pain point, what is momentum, what is good location. Beautiful. This is fantastic. Keep moving up now. Pain point for shorts. They're about to get wrecked, but I'm going to lock in some partials here. Beautiful. And we can just wait and reload here if we want now. So go back into the stream. You will see when we were up here, I was saying, I don't want to long here. I expect sellers to protect this. I want to long back down where our new buyers came in. All right, so we have to wait for this, and I want to long with liquidity. This dip here was the liquidity using these shorts who are trapped. More shorts trapped down here. When we come back at here and hold this, this is their chance to get out. Right, the easiest way to see what we were going to do, other than this tiny lower time frame, like I talked about, make sure I'm on the right chart because I've got that wrong plenty of times today, was this here. This fake out underneath this M15, repricing into this. We said this is the area we need to hold. Now we have a chance to reprice up here. If it really wants to turn the jets on, if this is all manipulation today for NVIDIA, like we've talked about, here we go. I'm still holding runners here. Can I get up into VWAP? Very, very nice. Okay, so we're looking at H1. Remember, we're looking at H1. Can H1 reprice this giant move here? This is also H4. So we're trading back inside H1, H4 right now in thin. Look how thin it is through here. This is thin. Beautiful, beautiful moves. You just got to be patient, right? You just have to be patient. That's probably the main thing I teach. Know your setups and be patient. Look at this. If you just took the signal, there's your buy signal. There's your flag. There's anchored VWAP. There's the flow zones. Bang. Right, it's a 50-point move. This is not a 5-10 point scalp like you're getting on other channels. This is a 50-point continuation move right here. Lovely. This is looking very good now. If they turn the jets on here, shorts are in mega trouble. Here we go. Pushing to VWAP, selling a little bit more. Oh, wrong one. Don't do that for the team, eh? There we go. Beautiful. Look at this. Let's go, team. Hopefully you're banking on this with me. Planned out well ahead. So I'm looking for targets now. Okay, I'm looking for targets as we get through VWAP. We have the 20-day lower time frame algo, 5-day and higher time frame here. I know that this is huge levels across multiple time frames. I don't want to be long into that. All right, I want long cheap. We've just swept, or we've almost swept that level there. Where's that stop? 72s. Through 72s, maybe we reprice higher. Can we get all the way up to New York Open and IB high? I would not doubt it. All right, I would not doubt that move. Banking, yeah. Hopefully you guys are banking big on this. This is brilliant. So we got 100-point move earlier. This is, if you got that W, Abe, you took that W, you should be up about 100 points right now. If you took this pullback with me, you should be up about 60, 65 points right now. DJ, need a pullback now? Yeah, it might not give it. Honestly, like that might be the pullback it's given. Here's your W. Breakout over this. Shorts got cooked here. Shorts got cooked here. They might get cooked here. You might get an explosive move. That doesn't mean you chase it, right? If you're not in it, you're not in it. It is what it is. This is normal VWAP now, all right? So full trading hours VWAP. ES at the same point. ES also into VWAP. So take some partials here, please. Then we're going to attack that 5-day, 20-day, lower time frame algo, higher time frame algo. Remember, higher time frame market conditions are bearish. The reason for that is lower time frame algo is beneath higher time frame algo. H1 looking very good here. Right, 10 more minutes left in this H1 candle. Just be aware of that as we go into lunch. Make sure you're locking in. I don't want anyone leaving in lunch red or adding in high. You guys should be buying from those nice cheap points here and holding runners. I love it, Glenn. Look at that. Especially after you and me had that one-on-one yesterday. We talked about propulsion. Right, I think that was the word you used specifically. Propulsion. Propulsion here. Propulsion here. You know they're trapped. Bang. You got it. Without looking back. I love it, mate. Great work. Just make sure you're paying yourself a little bit, eh? Try and pay yourself some money. Make sure you're locking something in. We don't know how high up this goes. We are in full-on squeeze mode now. Shorts are absolutely cooked. Pay yourself a little bit and then hold that runner. Looking good here. So we just sweat more liquidity. Shorts are getting smoked. Oh, I love it, team. I love it. Let's go. 20-day coming up. Can we get through 20-day and start attacking? These are massive institutional levels right here. If they've got enough retail cooked here, they're going to smoke them. So partials into these levels. If you have enough on, all right, 20-day, lower time frame, 5-day, higher time frame, initial balance high, New York open. What a move. Yeah, what a great day of trading. Yeah, exactly, Glenn. Exactly. Look at the hourly. In today's session, we're thin here. We were thick here yesterday, but in today's session, we're thin here. If we can drive back up, we get reprice that full hourly. Here we go. 20-day tag. You've got a daily level here on ES. Was 591 anchored VWAP price? 591. Which anchored VWAP? So this is New York session anchored VWAP off the 930. I had an anchored VWAP off the low, which I got rid of. We reclaimed it here. So it would have been off that low, probably where you're talking about. Yeah, 580. So we swept under it, reclaimed it, and went for the one off the low. All right, so into 20-day here, you have to be protecting some profits here, guys. Yeah, New York anchored VWAP is this one right here, around 600. I've got it, 605, 606. So that pullback held New York, held this level here, right? Left shoulder, move this down, head, right shoulder, quasi, go. Pain point for shorts was that level. What a move. What a move. All right, 7 more minutes until this hourly closes. We are retesting yesterday's point of control, okay? So I know it's thin today, but we are retesting yesterday's point of control here. Aid's absolutely smashing it. Just smashing out all his combines right now. Oh, shorts getting smoked. It's just amazing that they don't learn. I just find it, how many times can you force a short at low of day? Like, how are you getting stuck down here when we opened here and we've done this? Like, the short here is here and the cover point is here. It's just weird. Like, I find it weird. I find it weird that they do this every single day. All right, so 20-day tag there. Like I said, don't be adding high. You should be taking partials. You should be paying yourself. You should be about to leave into lunch up very nice money. Market's been very kind to us today. Look at Nvidia. It is not far away from going red to green on the day. So everything we talked about, did they shove it down, force it down, manipulate it down, trap shorts at the lows, scoop it up, use their liquidity to buy very, very cheap, and then run it back for that 150 break into earnings? I would say, yeah, that's exactly what they've done and exactly what they want to do. They've just got to hold price now until earnings, right? So think about all these people who are gambling puts on Nvidia at the lows. They are absolutely toast. If they hold into earnings those puts are going to get rinsed, absolutely rinsed. Meta now green on the day. Apple almost green on the day. Weekly model. Well, it's not done either side yet. We'll know after today, though. We protected it, didn't we? We almost did it, and we protected it. So we are still holding, and all the time we do that, we're thinking upside. So we're watching yesterday's high now. A lot of this will hinge on NVIDIA, and a lot of it will hinge on what data do we have tomorrow. It's red folder data tomorrow, quite big news. So just holding runners here. This is beautiful. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So 700 psychological level. Not much on the book up here, I'm going to be honest. 60 contracts, 61 contracts in front of 700. Expect them to get popped any second now. There you go. Pop them out. Jobless claims tomorrow. There you go. Yeah, big data tomorrow. That will matter. That will matter. Here we go. So no, like I said, no pullback. That's because shorts are trapped. We will not pull back when shorts are trapped. We will only pull back when we have some exhaustion from buyers. So very steep here. Like I said, we don't join these when we see this happening. We don't join up here because this is building liquidity. Later it can come and collect. But we are in full squeeze mode, right? That's why I said I doubt we get a pullback for a while. We are in a full squeeze mode. It's just understanding that when we're squeezing and shorts are stuck, all that they're doing is add cover, add cover. So all we do is go up, 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 without them ever being let out. If we go down, we let those shorts out, right? So we need basically to rinse them all out, have a blow off top, and only when that's happened and buyers are exhausted and shorts are exhausted, will they let the market come down to then scoop it back up. Hopefully that makes sense for everyone. If you traded penny stocks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These blow-off moves when shorts are trapped. We just keep going higher and higher, especially if you've got like a T+2 scenario, a day 2, day 3 breakout where shorts are trapped. Similar type of thing, but we're talking about a very lower time frame here. Nice, Foster Scott, up 21 ticks. I'm up about 80 points here on the runner. Taking most off. Might well, see, if that's the blow off, it might well come down and sweep all that trendline liquidity. All right, it's hard to see in here, isn't it? This is very, very, very steep. This here is a squeeze. Right, so it might want to come and take all these guys out first, and then we see how it reacts. So you can trim a lot of your position here if you need to, and then just hold runners. I'm very, very light now. So everyone who hung around with me for that last 30 minutes got paid. It's worth sticking around sometimes for these trades. Good one to go back and review today. Go back and watch what we talk about. How we wait for the liquidity. We always wait for it to show us what it wants to do, and then we join. Cha-ching! Yeah, I need a sound effect, don't I? I need to up my streaming game. Sometimes I think I need music. People don't want music, but I'm like, is it too quiet when I don't talk for a while? Or is music distracting? I've thought about all these things. Should I put chat above? Should chat be up here above me? I don't know. I don't know what you guys like. It doesn't affect me. I'm just trading my charts in front of me. don't want to gamify it too much, you know. Music's cool. Yeah, I've thought about putting, especially that I produce, maybe I should put some of my stuff on. Not my dance stuff, maybe some of my chill out stuff, personal stuff I've made. That squeeze played out, runners only now. So if it's a blow off, we won't be able to flag and hold. This is a very, you're buying very high if you're buying this flag. I don't like buying up here. As you all know, I am a cheapskate. I like buying down here in these levels. Same reason why I would have wanted a short up here, and I didn't like shorting down here. I had to wait. I like buying value. It means I get these types of moves, right? These big moves, rather than buying up here and looking for, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. I'm not interested in doing that. There's no reason. Yeah, I think that's the key thing, Glenn, right? It makes it much easier to manage your risk, because you should know if you're right or wrong like that, right? If you've got their paying point correctly, it will go instantly. And if it doesn't, you should be out that trade. Much better than DCAing in as we move down, isn't it? Much easier to manage your emotions. So really nice W pattern playing out. And here's the W. All right, so what we expect always when we have buyers come in, we have a big move down. We have buyers come in and move away from there. We expect a reprice into this level. Always, always, always we are expecting this kind of move, because buyers should have resting liquidity here to hold it up. And then we're looking for a reason to get involved, which we got here, this big propulsion away. We got involved for the move up. If this failed, if it came in here and failed, we'd be thinking about short continuation back down. Right, we'd be thinking that those buyers are now trapped and we get short continuation back down. Into new hourly bar here, into lunch. I might close this soon. Can reprice down to 645 now on that hourly if it really, really wanted to. So I don't want to give away much, so it might go upside. I also want to get off. Your entry was the 1 minute holding above VWAP. My entry was right here. Yeah. You would have heard me saying I wanted to buy here, but it would just kept going away from me. Here's your channel. Let's think about this. It's your first lower high, and there's the volume down here coming in and aggressively breaking out of it. All right, I'm closing that down. Take that off. I'm out of this trade now, just so I can concentrate here. So once we broke out of this, I wanted to buy it, but we just kept moving up and up and up and up and up and up. I'm not going to chase this up, even though it actually would have given me a better price. I needed to see some form of consolidation, and we talked about left handle, head, sorry, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So I was looking for dips in and around anywhere here where I know these shorts were stuck. Once we got that, I entered, boom, 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 and I'm just selling into liquidity on the way up. All right, team, I'm done. I'm out of that. That's a big day for me. Happy with that. Am I off to holidays tomorrow? No, I'll be here tomorrow. I probably won't be here Friday, and I won't be here next week. Okay, but if you're in the Discord room, I will be in the room next week. So I'll do everything I can to try and turn up and give you a morning briefing of what I think is going to happen, what I would be looking for. I won't be actively trading, but I will be there for the community in Discord to try and help you, but no live streams. Yeah, I love it. Glenn, only 2 trades today, bagged 150 points. I mean, can't do better than that. It's beautiful. Okay, cool, Capped. Yeah, nice feedback there. going for a walk. Enough fun. Yeah, nice, Abe. Great work today. Really, really good work. Feels like going back to VWAP. Yeah, it can definitely come back to VWAP. Can come back even lower. We've just squeezed everyone out. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Andrew, John, Exister, Ramos, Chris. Everyone who's participated today and all week. We are still 100% on the week. Wow. Pretty happy with that. 100%. And I think that the average trade side's got to be almost 100 points. It has to be almost 100 points that we've had on stream this week. I think what day are we now? So we've had 2 today. Can't remember how many we got yesterday on stream. 1 or 2 on stream. Yeah, we've got to be 5 or 6 trades of 100 points plus. Anyway, great work. Love to see it. Love you guys all profitable. Do me a favor. If this stream helped you today, please share it with your mates. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to do the course, if you want to have all my indicators, all right, just one big indicator to help you. All right, I call this the flow zone cloud, but this really is like having stabilizers on a bike. All right, just keeps you safe, gives you more confidence to get in and out of trades. But if you want to do that, it is on sale with the Discord, with the 20-hour course, all bundled together for $399, one-time fee. You can hit the link down below. Use code Black Friday, all caps, and hopefully I'll see some of you in Discord. Until tomorrow, I'll be back. What should we say? 10 minutes before open, 9:20 a.m. in the morning. Peace and love. Use hard stops, all right? Use hard stops. I don't want to hear any horror stories of any of you getting washed out and turning your big green day red. If you're up big green, get off the screens. Come back tomorrow. Volatility in the afternoon might get wild with NVIDIA. Get off the screens. Let's come back tomorrow. Let's end out the week strong. Peace out.